Hey, welcome back to the sick house and chugging along this week. What is it, week 8?
Week 8.
Yeah, we're struggling through. We got injuries, we got sickness, but we're still pushing along.
That's
Uh,
right.
how we doing? What's your name today?
Uh, I'm doing better, but after getting sick twice this month, first with COVID, the second time with bronchitis, I'm like just now starting to kind of feel somewhat normal. So it's just been a whole process.
Okay, and my name's Dan. So let's go into the first matchup of the week. Team Philly Special came off his bye, coming back with a fury this week. Leading scorer in this matchup was actually Derrick Henry, but other than that, just absolute domination by Michael's team, taking it back. AJ Brown, Deontay Foreman, suck that, Chuba Hubbard, and Miles Sanders. He has actually been a beast this year because the Eagles are great. So, what do you have to say about this?
I say that Jonathan Taylor has had probably the most disappointing fantasy season. As a keeper, having him and then going into this season, I mean, he just has not. He's at ranked 32. I just saw that he's going to be out yet another week. It's really been underwhelming, and that's really kind of sucked for all your Jonathan Taylor people. But again, even with him being underwhelming, Michael can still put up 100 over 150 points, and I mean, just really rocking it. I mean, he's got very loaded team. I mean, it's crazy that he's at 5-3 because you would think he'd be much higher, but I mean, he's just doing wonderful.
Is that the highest score this year?
I
Or I
think it might
know,
be.
I think JJ had a score that was pretty close up there in the 150s. I'd have to go look that up, but I'm not going to do that. I just
Yeah,
wanted to see if you knew.
I feel that. I feel that. But yeah,
Also, this week I
well,
traded. Who the fuck did I trade? I traded Justin Herbert and Najee Harris for Jalen Hurts. This trade's been coming. I traded with Fat Mac and Josh. For it's been coming for a couple weeks. I hate Najee Harris and Justin Herbert is he's been dealing with that rib injury all year, and I didn't think he's that special anyway. He doesn't have much of a running potential, so I said, screw it. I can get the production from Michael Carter and Brian Robinson. So Najee Harris, his bum ass is out of here, and now I can be excited, extra excited every time Jalen Hurts throws a touchdown to AJ Brown, like he did again this week with that Thursday night game that already passed. What do you
I
have to say
traded.
about this trade?
I traded a second round pick to get Josh Jacobs, and I think that was the best trade so far. But I don't think the Hurts trade is really going to help you much. But I mean, if you're happy with it, you're happy with it, and that's all that matters. This Josh Jacobs trade is going to be very interesting because my plan is to keep him for 2 weeks and really just 1 week, and just as long as I don't trade him back to JJ by the second week. If not, I'll probably just trade him back to JJ for something much less. But yeah, no, that's the whole plan, was just to use him to be able to make sure that I beat Josh, who I've never lost to, and make sure that I can somehow climb up and get to 4-6. And we'll see if that plan works out or if it doesn't work out and I just keep losing more. Yeah, we'll just see how that pans out.
All right, everybody's making trades. Moving on to the next matchup, we have a team on the rise and a team on the fall. The gang plays fantasy. Thomas's squad, his wide receivers that he kept this offseason were kind of we weren't too thrilled with them, but they came through this week. And Thomas is on a 3 game winning streak. He beat Tyler's money team this week, 97.98 to 91.48. Led by Kirk Cousins of all people. I think Kirk Cousins hasn't had a ton of super big games, but Kirk Cousins has been consistent ever since I told him to pick up Kirk Cousins. And Geno Smith couldn't do enough. He couldn't completion percentage his way to a Tyler win.
Yeah, and this is three straight losses for Tyler. So he's really got to start look and see what he can do to bounce back, because now sitting at 4-4, and really, I think the majority of our entire rosters are at 4-4 at this point. It's really anybody's game to get into the playoffs here, but and I can tell I've talked to Tyler a little bit this week. I mean, he's looking to make some moves, make some adjustments, but biggest adjustment, it looks like he needs to have a solid flex right now. It's kind of hit and miss between what he's got on the bench. Gibson's not starting, but he's definitely kind of in a flex role. And then you don't know what you're going to get from week to week with Matt Collins, Rondale Moore, Brandon Knight, because, I mean, like, the 49ers just have so many weapons at this point. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see, because really, we talked about it. He needs really 4 more wins, but sitting at 4-4, It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be very, very tight. And Thomas, I'm just go ahead and say it. He's been very, very lucky and very fortunate. I don't know how much longer that luck's going to keep going, but hey, as long as it's happening for you, just keep going. Just keep going.
Finally helps that Kyle Pitts scored 14 points. Kyle Pitts, usually the 1 point wonder.
Yeah,
I think as far as the money team goes, I think you just put Gibson and Ayuk in the lineup. Uh, Maybe fight between Higgins and Olave every week. Forget about Mostert and his ups and downs, unless I don't know. I think you just roll with Gibson and Ayuk, and you just deal with Ayuk's up and down weeks. I think that 49ers defense getting McCaffrey, I'm starting to buy back into the just put players on good teams on your team, and eventually it'll work out for you.
right.
It's kind of what Michael does with the Eagles, and whoever's got the most best team.
The most,
Guys, that was a shitty sentence, but
the most bestest team.
yeah, just put wins on your team, and you'll get wins on your out of your team. Moving on, in a totally telegraphed upset, we have the Jared Goff-led Pepe Silvia's picks taking down the top team in the league, Wild Card Bitches, led by Josh Allen. Alvin Kamara, finally, finally this week. Jamal Williams doing great this week. No Patrick Mahomes, and Williams' team comes out on top. Just a classic taco-esque win
Oh yeah,
for Pepe Silvia.
yeah. He and Thomas are on par with just how lucky and fortunate they've been. And it has been their seasons because I feel like they both. Hey, I just want to say this is actually the most wins so far for Thomas in fantasy ever in our leagues. He's never had
Really?
4 wins.
I was
So
talking some smack to him against. I was talking some smack about him to his wife, and I think that got him to light a fire underneath his team
yeah,
and turn things around.
if he gets one more win this season, it's the most he's ever like. It is the absolute most. Right now, he's tied for the most. But so hats off to Thomas. He's turning things around, even with a number one overall pick that was a complete bust. Still turning things around. Pepe Silvia didn't even have a first round pick, and still doing great. He auto drafted and still does better than some guys that put a lot of time in this. And then you got JJ over here. This loss doesn't mean anything to him. He's so far ahead of everyone. He has lost Josh Jacobs, and I think that's going to hurt him. To get a second round pick, I think is huge because Josh Jacobs' future is so up in the air because Las Vegas has chose not to take his 5th year, and so you don't know where he's going to be at. But James Robinson still has time to bloom there. Austin Eckler will, of course, come back to the starting lineup, but Caleb Huntley's not somebody you can bet on week after week. Stevenson looks like he probably will be, but he needs to get some people healthy. If he gets Mike Williams and John Dotson healthy again, he's pretty sick. He's pretty loaded. He's going to be good.
It's a strange trade to me for JJ squad. I know Austin Eckler is an automatic start every week, and the hope is eventually James Robinson takes over that lead back role in New York. But Josh Jacobs accounted for a ton of his success in the last few weeks, and I see the value in getting a second round pick. I don't know how many first round picks are going to be swapping teams this year, depending on how much you can snake some people into some bad decisions later on in these next couple of weeks. But I don't know. I guess it's all about Josh Allen for this team, and that was kind of my thought with picking up Jalen Hurts. I'm going to be keeping Jalen Hurts this year and just having that running, throwing quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I think for sure Allen's going to be a keeper. Hill's going to be a keeper. Eckler's going to be a keeper. But Josh Jacobs was one of his keepers, so it's going to be pretty interesting to see who he fills in there and what happens. Hawkinson going to Minnesota, that's going to be very interesting as well because Kirk Cousins likes that tight end spot, so that's going to be a very interesting see how that develops.
All right, so let's move on to Fat Mac versus Official Kitten Mittens. Um, Marshall's team keeps suffering, and Fat Mac kind of scrapes out a lucky win this week with only putting up 86 points. That's right in the Dan zone to win a game, led by the newly acquired by my team, Jalen Hurts, and a bunch of other players are playing football.
Yeah.
This week, I thought the interesting play, I don't know if Marshall has given up on the season. He hasn't given up on the group chat, but he's given up on starting Dak Prescott the last couple weeks, and DeAndre Hopkins
And he has
came back with a fury this week, and instead of starting DeAndre Hopkins, Marquise Brown was the play, and I don't think he played at all, right?
no, he's been hurt. He's out for the year.
Yeah.
Brown like 3 or 4 weeks ago has been out for the year. like like IR, like it's not happening, like he's done. And yeah, if he would have just had that one switch out here, like honestly, legitimately, Marshall could be at probably 4-4 right now if he would pay a little bit more attention to his lineups. And that's the funny part is me and Marshall have the two worst records, but like a few little stuff goes right and we could be right there with everybody else. And really nobody's eliminated from playoffs and we're this deep into the season. So I mean, he really, if he just makes a couple adjustments, he's still fine. He can still come back, no problem.
Your team's outscoring Marshall's team by 160 points so far this season. You have 160 more
But we
points
have the same.
than the official Kitten Mittens. I know it's just funny to me. I like how bad your luck has been this year.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a 3-year plan, Dan. It's a 3-year plan.
yeah, starting next year. All
Next
right,
year,
Scam Hanky, keep kicking that can down the road.
that's great. That's funny.
All right. All right. Let's move on to Rickety Cricket versus the Nightman Cometh. Just another great bit of luck for you this week. Nick Chubb could not single-handedly win you the game,
But he did win me
and
$50, bitch.
yeah, I made a stupid drunken bet with him that night that Nick Chubb would get a couple more yards, and he did
It was
not.
halfway through the fourth quarter, and I was like, $50 is I still don't get one more point to win. And there was this little time where I could tell you were thinking about it, and then you were like, just one more point? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, okay, I'll take it. In my head, I was like, why would he even go back out on the field? They're up 3 scores halfway through the fourth quarter. And then he came back out, and I was like, oh, shit. No, 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 no.
Yeah, he got like 5 yards on
Yeah,
a rush, and then that was the
yeah.
end of it.
I was like, oh, crap. Well, if I win, I win. And I was like, I'll gladly pay $50 if that means I'm going to win. And I still didn't win. But I did win money. So I'm the first person in our league who can say they've actually profited from the season so far.
Yeah, I don't consider that part of the fantasy
Oh,
league at
I put
all.
$25 in
I
this investment, and I've gotten 50 out of it so far.
yeah, I don't consider that. That was just you taking advantage of a disabled person.
Yeah, well, what's new?
I don't think that has to do anything
Here's the real funny part,
with
guys,
this
though. I went
with this
and I
league.
picked up Justin Fields, and I was like, I had him at the starting lineup, and late Saturday night, I decided to switch him out and put Russ in. And that switch out is what basically lost me the whole thing because Russ scored 26 points. And I'm sorry, not Russ, but Justin Fields scored 26 points, and me subbing him out for Russ. Yeah, so once again, I just beat myself, and I think that's really what it comes down to. Is there's just unfortunate luck, but also just overthinking on stuff. And congratulations to Kelsey. She is only 2 wins behind the most wins in our entire season or in our entire league. She's still just doing great, even with what it was like a 1-4 start or something like that. I mean, she had a very poor start, and she did this last year. She was able to fight right back into it. If anybody's gonna win it, I would rather have Kelsey win it than anybody else. So this was a loss, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, at least it was Kelsey.
Yeah, west over east. East side can suck it.
Yeah,
All right, moving on. Former beast of the East trying to make a comeback here down the stretch. Wes's team Suicide Pact came through and smashed the competition this week. Christian McCaffrey, 32 points. Um, yeah, 30-point win for Wes. Tony Pollard is proving what we have been saying the past 2 years, publicly and privately, saying that Zeke Elliott was a major waste for the Cowboys, and Tony Pollard should be getting the carries all the time. Uh, yeah, kind of a smackdown. Debo's out. That sucks for Wes, but if Keenan Allen ever comes back, look for his squad to make a deep run.
yeah. I don't know if this just split up our video into 2 things. We'll have to see. I had one of my kids just try to give me a call, and it was like, looks like he's having a meltdown on the camera, so I'll figure that out. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope that it looks like people are starting to get healthy for her too, so I'll be very interested to see how that goes for her team. But yeah, no, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see at this point right now. Because again, I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-4 teams, 3 5-3 teams, a 3-5, and a couple 2-6s. But I mean, it could really, really just go anywhere on this. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. Because now we're getting to the point where every small little thing means so much.
All right, this was going to be an abbreviated version anyway. Do you need to go? Do you need to go put out some fires?
I'm looking and I can't really tell. Like I think I'm okay, but half the times they call
Is
me
he
and
hitting
it's
patrons yet?
huh?
Is he hitting customers yet?
No, he ran right back into the kitchen. So I'm guessing it's something that really isn't that important, but I don't know. That's usually just how life works, I guess, for it. But yeah, no, this is definitely going to be a shorter video on it. But it looks like it's cut up into two separate ones. So I'm curious how we're going to be able to get it into one, but we'll see.
We'll see. I don't know what else you got. We were just running through to make sure that we hit this week. We haven't been the best with this, but and our views the last couple of weeks have shown it. I don't think we've been boosting the views, and
Nah, but they're going to get up. The biggest thing is make sure that we just keep something going on each time. I do love that even though he had a loss, JJ had a loss, he went from 99% to the playoffs to 98% to the playoffs. Um, the entire West is 500, which is hilarious. Um, and then we still are fighting on the East to be able to just be relevant. And this week could be a rough week because I'm pretty sure we've got certain teams going up against each other that I think I'm going to take Josh out, no problem. I'm really projected a lot more than him. I think that's going to be a total fine.
because that's worked out the last few weeks for you, right?
It hasn't worked out last three, but fourth is what you want on your 3 year plan, and year two, that fourth time,
Hmm.
that's what you really want.
Yeah.
That's really what you need. A big one, Ro, is Pepe Sylvia versus Boyle Denham. That is going to be a major game right there. Um,
Yeah, Devonte Smith already let me down this week, and he made a
yeah,
comment the other day. He doesn't care about everybody's fantasy teams. I can't blame him. He's on an 8-0 team, and he's doing well personally, so he can give a fuck about me. But I think I'm going to go down this week. I think Devonte Adams is not going to get shit again, and I don't know. Maybe I won't. That's some interesting stuff to listen to, right?
I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And now that I don't know, you really got to let go of Devontae Smith. I'm happy that you're going to let go of Devontae Smith after this year. I think.
I might not. I might end up keeping him.
Crazy. But no, I mean, it's going to look like, oh, wow, with Jack versus Tyler, both of those are must win games for each roster right there. So that's going to be really, really interesting to see. And then I really like the play with Kelsey up against West this week. I don't know. There's just some really good matchups. The only matchup that's not really great is official kit mittens versus wildcard bitches, but um, and really mine against Josh because me winning really doesn't mean anything, and Josh losing is detrimental to him. But I'm very excited to see how tomorrow goes and see how the rest of this week goes for sure.
Yeah, losing Jamar Chase is absolutely devastating for the Fat Max squad.
Oh yeah, and I'm just throwing this out there to everybody. I will be very very glad after this week to trade Josh Jacobs for a second round pick to anybody who really needs him. This could be a game changer, a season changer for anybody who's really interested in him, except for the people who I still have yet to face. So, Dan, you're not included. After I beat you, Dan, I'll gladly trade him to you. But if I still have to face you, you're not allowed to have Josh Jacobs. But everybody else, yeah, do. It's open. We
I'll
can do
throw you Devonte Smith for him. How about
it.
that?
Yeah, I think I'll skip out on that.
God, is Odell going to sign with somebody, or what's the deal with him? Is he ever going to sign with the Rams? You think
I
so,
know.
or do you think they're going to suck too bad before they pony up and give him some money?
Yeah, and I feel like everybody doesn't really know how that's going to work out either. So I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see.
Yeah, I think going forward, I'm going to have to put Cooper in instead of Smith. Maybe Smith still makes it in with a flex. Um, I'm benching Michael Carter this week because the Bills are just going to eat up the Jets, and it's not even going to be a fun game
I
to
saw
watch.
that you had him in the lineup a second ago, so I was kind of curious about that.
Who?
I thought
Carter?
you, yeah, I thought you had him in the lineup a second ago.
I started him last week. I think I took him out last night.
Okay.
Hopefully, Patrick Mahomes gets eaten up by Derrick Henry, and Alvin Kamara beats somebody up so he can't play this week. Even when he beats people up, he still plays that same week. So I guess that doesn't really.
All I'm gonna say is if Pepe Sylvia picks goes 5-4,
Were you telling him to change his players because he had a bunch of players out this week?
I always talk to him like like he's getting married next weekend, and
Oh,
so I always
congratulations!
Yeah, and so I'll always be like, hey, this, that, and the other. And be like, oh man, you won, or like, oh, you got some people on buys this week, and he'll be like, oh, okay. And sometimes he'll make some shifts that I'm like, why, what made you put this person here? And he'll be like, is that not good? And I'm like, I'm just curious, like, what was like your main thought behind that? And he was like, I just put him there. Is that wrong? Is that not right? I'm like, I mean, you can do that. I probably wouldn't. And then that's really as far as that goes. For example, I don't know why he still has Cobb on his bench, but like, I guess it's not hurting anything.
Well, Cobb will turn it around the next 3 years, I'm sure.
Yeah, in the next 3 years for sure. But for this year, not going to play anymore. So
Well, you just gotta trust the plan and just see it through to the end.
look, you got to see it through for sure. But yeah, no, it's all part of these 3 year plans, guys. And I'm just telling you right now, on year 2 of mine, if I can really throw some wrench into people's plans and cost them the playoffs, that's going to be really important to me in my year 2 of year 3. And then next year, when I'm in the playoffs, better watch out.
Do you think anybody in the league is positioned to trade for Tua right now? Because Tua has just proven that if his brain is somewhat functional inside of his skull, he's going to put up big numbers with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Do you think any of these teams that are looking to make a backdoor run to the championship could possibly trade for Tua and it would change their fortunes or anything?
Maybe Tyler. Um, Maybe Josh now. Who's Jack got? No, he's got Big Burrow. He doesn't care.
What if you were Michael? Would you consider trading for Tua if the price wasn't too high? Because Lamar Jackson's been kind of disappointing.
I'd keep Lamar. I think you would never count Lamar out, if I'm being honest. Um, and maybe Thomas. I don't know, but yeah, in my opinion, no. And I'll be honest with you too. If you're starting to lose really right now, like, and you're in a position like I am, having all these teams that are possible to be in the playoffs, really key to get those trades, get those picks. Really key. It's a best case scenario right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, Mike Evans and my team's got to go to somebody before the end of this year. So does CeeDee Lamb. I mean, just, basically besides my 4 RBs, everybody's got to find a new home. Josh Jacobs has got to find a home. Gabe Davis has got to find a home. Kareem Hunt's got to find a home. Dalton Schultz is about to get so many plays. He's about to find a home. Deshaun Watson, if he can, he's about to find a home. Everybody's got to find new homes. Okay? I'm kind of like the orphanage, and I've got all these guys, and I'm just going to send them out to all these. That's probably really fucked up. I shouldn't say that, but yeah, it's about to
But
happen.
you're not giving them to Jerry Sandusky
Well, now we have made this pretty fucked up.
unless he gives you as long as he gives you a second round pick though, that'd be fine.
Oh, if you give me a second round pick, I mean, come on, you can't pass that up.
Yeah, no. All right, I gotta shut up. I don't need to shut up, but it's fine.
It's fine.
Uh, yeah, I don't know what to say. My team still doesn't look too great. I'm glad I have Jalen Hurts. Najee Harris, I hate you and the Steelers. I hope that you guys continue to suck forever. I never really. Ugh, it just sucks. It just
Hey,
suck.
after we play and I beat you, we'll really need to talk about some good trades because I got plenty of players to help out your team.
Yeah, there's no way I'm giving you any picks. There's no
Yeah,
way I'm giving you any picks for
yeah.
players.
Why
No,
not?
because I'm just not trading with you for picks. I'm just not doing that. David and Njoku kind of fucked me getting hurt. That was one of my stealthier. I think next week we should do a little bit where we go through and we try to determine who everybody's best pickup was this year. Uh,
Mine's gonna be Brees Hall, no. Travis Etienne, no. Damian Pierce, no. Yeah, probably one of those 3. Yeah.
that's pretty good. Good thing you can play 4 running backs at the same time.
Hey, when one gets hurt for the year, still has 3 playmakers.
That's good for you. That's good for you and your 2-6 record. I hope you lose again this week.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lose this week, and I'm not gonna lose next week,
Herbert
and then I'm gonna
had
beat
4
you.
touchdowns.
And it's gonna be great because it's gonna be 3 straight wins. I'm gonna go up to 5-6. Then I'll play Thomas one more time, punch that in, get to 6-6. I'm at 500 with everybody else. It's coming. It's ready for the hurricane.
All right, that's about all I got.
Yeah,
You got anything, Hurricane?
I'm good.
All right, we did it. We made one this week. Maybe it'll go out before the game start. If not, I'm still gonna act like we did.
Yeah,
And
no, it'll be fine.
yeah, hopefully that guy downstairs didn't punch somebody in the face or something. If he did, we'll come back and we'll
We'll
touch on
find
that
out.
next week.
And then the funnier thing too is like I don't know what's going on. I'll have to figure that here in a second. But I'm curious just how the two separation videos how that's going to work. So we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm probably not gonna watch it anyway.
And all of a sudden for me, your audio has just like went super low. Like I can barely hear you too. So you're welcome for all this greatness that we're doing today.
All right, get healthy, everybody. Stay healthy. Don't throw rocks at stuff you shouldn't throw rocks at. That'd be a bad thing to do.
Don't throw rocks at trains later.
Unless it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
It's Christmas.